Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm expecting it to be banned out here. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, jumping into the draft for this game number 1. TNC is going to be on the blue side here. We got Nexplay Evos on the red. So already bans coming out here. Going to be the Fanny. There's quite often, you know, typical bans we're used to seeing.
That's what you do when you have a masterful assassin main on the other end,
That's
right?
true.
You just get rid of the Fanny. Also expecting a lot of mid-lane focus. You want to make sure Yelly Hayes and Escalera, in this case, MPL Season 9 Rookie of the Season, get respect, and of course, as you do in red side, you ban out the Valentina.
Because obviously SDZYZ's one of his specialties is the Fanny, right? But you can never risk it going over to the first pick at any point in the game.
I feel like still you're going to see the typical priorities, what we're seeing lately, right? And that's usually either the Thamuses or the Beatrix. We even see Akai either being banned out or picked out. So again, we're going to have to see what TNC kind of changed here. Whereas we got to look, we got a preview of what Nexplay Evos has up their sleeves. And still, even if the Natalia is not taken out here, they could potentially put that on Mycophobia. Maybe they take the book, a page out of the book from Blacklist International, and H2O takes the Natalia in the jungle, right? There is that option too here. But already bans coming out, nothing surprised here. Julian does get taken out, which is great because that's a huge flex hero right now that teams like to go with. So let's see what Nexplay Evos likes to... Actually, they're going to respond with the Akai. And already the first pick being the 1-1, big priority here for TNC.
Yeah, TNC's been watching the games yesterday, man. Saw Yelly Hayes go up on that Julian, and they say, no, we're not going to experience that today.
Yeah, what TNC is doing is they're protecting their strategy. They use the information that they got on Nexplay Evos yesterday, and they'll make sure to essentially cut it at the root. Make sure that Nexplay Evos doesn't even get comfortable. But it looks like comfort doesn't seem to be what Nexplay Evos wants. Beatrix going to go into the hands of Donut, and here's a pretty good flex. Again, you're not sure if this is going to be a Mycophobia Natalia, or, dare I say, pray tell, it might be even an H2O Natalia.
Yes. There is precedent now for a very good Natalia jungler in Season 10. Historically, obviously, Mycophobia loves this hero, so you're going to have to think about that if you're TNC.
Interesting, too, here, TNC taking the Angela and plus the Esmeralda, right? And honestly, I'm not surprised by the Esmeralda because this was a signature pick for Cram even last season. We'll have to see if it ends up being the eternal battle that we're used to seeing here if James takes the Uranus. But last pick's going to be the counter here, the Dairoth.
Is it, though? There's still a lot of flex here. You can still bring the Dairoth into the jungle, but one thing is for sure, TNC, Coach Scholar, Coach 413, they're thinking off of protecting. Again, there's a lot of information in Nexplay Evos. These two picks here that they picked up, the Esmeralda and the Angela, they're playing off the fact that the Esmeralda counters the Angela. Whoever gets hit with the Heart Guard, you just chunk away the shields and you get in their face, Bob's your uncle. But with that being said, Nexplay Evos, they're cutting down. All right, TNC, you're not picking up on jungle just yet. We're going to start closing the gaps here. Would not be surprised if they can take out the Baksha or even a Barats.
Honestly, so as NXP, it's so difficult to ban out junglers against TNC just because SDZYZ has such a huge pool, and there's a Hayabusa going out. Again, at TNC doing their homework.
Mr. Salonga's in the building. That's what you do. That's what you do. You just take out all the assassins. Lancelot, would not be surprised if that was a Lancelot.
I mean, you said, right, you're feeling like it's leaning a little bit more towards those assassin junglers right now, and if you just ban them out, if it's NXP, you just ban them out because then that limits the pool here. But like we said, we don't necessarily know just yet where the Natalia is going. It could go in the hands of H2O here. So let's see what the last bans are going to be here for both teams as they focus. Once again, they take out the Paquito here. Nexplay Evos don't want to give that one up. And TNC making a quick ban here. The response, they take out a powerhouse in the mid lane. They take out the Lilia.
All right, so a lot of coverage has been done by TNC at least, but again, Yelly Hayes can actually swap out. I think I've seen Yelly Hayes actually use the Natalia, so I don't know, man. There's just a lot of swappability. Hard to actually counter Yelly Hayes at this point because of how much veterancy he has under his belt and the amount of heroes he has on his pool as well. We haven't even talked about Selena yet, which is not showing today.
10 seasons in a row across the better half of a decade. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of flex, but that is going to be quelled here. We are going to confirm seeing a mid-savior, which has been flipping flopping in the past 3 months. The range that he provides might not be as useful, but now, since they do have the Natalia on their side, Xavier's going to be relatively safe. TNC closes off the draft with a Baksha and a Lolita. Half of the Lolita-Lilia duo, they did deny themselves that, but again, you want to protect yourself from the Xavier, which we did test while we were on the ground at MSC. We did test Lolita, blocks half of the skills of Xavier. So TNC covering their bases.
This is interesting, though, because I like what they're doing, TNC, but at the same time, do they have enough damage?
Yeah,
right?
this
because,
is...
Yeah, I mean, this is Angela, right? This is going to be Angela here, and yes, Xavier has, I would say, he's fallen off a little bit in the strength department, right? But he still has a huge, huge threat with the Dawning Light alone, and as the game progresses on, it's a very low cooldown, and here we go. It's actually going to be the Karina being locked in here.
How did this fall through? Interesting.
I guess both teams were going off of the tangent of it might be Jungle Karina, Jungle Natalia. It might be Jungle Natalia. Nope, Karina's still open. Now, good question. Where's the damage for TNC? They can team fight forever. It's basically trying to open a coconut with a vibranium spoon. It makes sense, but now you're looking at NXPE down the barrel of a gun. It's all damage. It's
Again.
all damage.
It's all damage.
It's
Again.
all damage.
It's all damage.
They're doing exactly what they did yesterday.
Exactly. Although not as squishy as their lineup yesterday, right? This has a little bit more firmness to it. At the same time, I'm thinking about what we've seen in the previous games, where a team has put all their eggs on the gold lane basket. Where have we seen that earlier today? Maybe it did not work out that well. So,
well. We're going to find out, right? Because welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the land of Dawn here, the second series of the day, Nexplay Evos versus TNC. And as we see everybody get to the lanes here, like we said, right, Mycophobia on this Natalia again, going to be looking to do the same thing he did yesterday against Blacklist International. And just across the board, right, even just looking, SD still rolling with that Demon Slayer emblem, of course, on this jungle Baksha. Doesn't want to give that one away just yet, but still, you know, how is that going to match up? H2O actually defaulting to the Demon Slayer as well to go head-to-head with SD.
There's a lot of questions for TNC here. Number one, where is their burst going to come from? There's literally none, given that your support, your mid laner is Escalera. But wait, quick, mid? Oh, bottom?
Oh, look at the bottom lane, though. James is having a bit of a hard time. But at least he is able to clear out the waves. And right now, Mycophobia, he's gonna be spotted out, but will it be too late? Mycophobia might be in trouble here. He slowed down a little bit, and that's gonna be first blood going over to TNC.
Man, so like, I mean, I understand what they were going for there, but just unfortunately couldn't get that. And now still in the jungle, H2O is gonna be in trouble.
H2O again is gonna be slowed down as well, but he is not as sturdy as he thinks he should be. Able to make it out. I think that is literally 1 HP.
NXP is down 500 gold here, 600 taken already, 2 minutes, not yet even here. First hurdle, clearly going to go over TNC. Some things never change. They are going to go for objectives, and it's good that they got this first blood. Now I understand. They're going to go off of sustainability, and they're going to pretend that like the early game doesn't exist.
Yeah, I have to say that TNC's lineup is deceptively itchy. I don't know how to say that.
Itchy.
It hurts.
It's persistent.
They're very persistent, and their DPS is actually consistent. So they're actually doing a pretty good job of taking the early game team fights, despite what we think their lineup is, which is basically a huge tank.
Well, I think you prolong the fight if you're TNC, and you kind of whittle down your opponent. That's what you're going for. But then you can also look at Yasuo, right? He's a huge damage potential output on that Wanwan alone if he can get to that point. And now Turtle fight happening here.
Turtle is going to be going in favor of NXPE H2O. Beautiful retribution. James will be slowed down. There goes the die-off, and the backup is just not ready. They just are not in position to go for the fight. They will have to disengage. That turtle go over to the NXP is pretty big, though.
Yep. Two things, good news, bad news. Number one, H2 still got it.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Retribution,
You know it.
That retribution, gotta watch out. But the other thing, though, bad news. It looks like NXP are of two different mindsets. You saw how Mycophobia was hesitating. I'm not sure if the execute was off of cooldown just yet. Wasn't watching it, but it looked like they were thinking, if they can get a kill, can we get a kill? Can we clean up? And it looked like Mycophobia was making the call. No.
Yeah, I think that confusion is also just the fact that you have so much tankiness to deal with from TNC. I mean, you have Ben Things and SD alone, right? So, and then you have to work around the hard guard. So they do have a ton of damage and burst potential, but sometimes finding those angles, finding those openings are going to be a little bit difficult here. They're really relying once again on James to kind of whittle them down with those the way that Dairoth works, reduce that armor, and then just burst someone down and hope to get that numbers advantage. So right now we're seeing them, right? Yes, they got that turtle, but still when it comes to the team fights here, they're going to struggle a little bit unless they can really find those moments. And that's what we're seeing, right, so far. Even though 2 kills in favor here of TNC, Nexplay Evos has to be careful with how they approach those objectives fights, because in a small space like that, it is going to be tough to work around this Lolita alone.
Just watching the camera and Mikophobia's journey around the map, I would have to say that it is looking like he is having a hard time like finding targets. As strong as you are as a Natalia, as you are not visible on the map, it is hard to whittle down these tanky heroes.
Yep.
Right now, SD trying to walk up onto the bush. He does not have a problem fighting. He has the hard guard to work with, and that boiling lava is just not enough to slow down the attack of NXPE. Cram, though, he's willing them down with all of those cloth fibers that just hurt when touches you. And I don't know, it was weird. That fight was weird for me.
It was odd. It seems like NXP found their window.
Yeah, and right now we're gonna have to find out if there's anything that TNC can do against this turtle. Apparently there will be none.
So interesting, right? Because they still took the disciplined approach after that. TNC didn't actually commit to getting a kill there when they probably could have. So this is what I was saying, right? The burst, the damage potential is obviously there for Nexplay Evos. If they can just kind of work around the ultimates, especially the heart guard, right, from Escalera, that might work for them. But here we go, another setup in mid.
Ooh, that was a beautiful Numino blast. I don't even need to call that. That is a dead Yelly Haste if I've ever seen one myself. And that's going to be an easy kill for TNC. Again, very deceptively powerful lineup in taking kills, despite what their lineup looks like.
Yeah, that's Mycophobia not checking the right bush. And again, it's not because he was not doing his job. He just got overloaded. The rotational speed from TNC, given that Escalera has global presence and there is the Baksha Unite on SDZYZ, he just gets the places. They just get the places much, much faster. And now Donut, who is possibly the most farmed hero, I did not check, given the item check earlier, he is getting a lot of money. Oh no, not the fight up top!
He's got the backup, but will not be enough to save Donut here. Yelly Haze is in trouble. That is a very tanky SD, tanking up all those tower hits, and Mycophobia is just way too late to the party.
See, Mycophobia can't even go in there. He knows the rest of the team, but oh, in bottom lane, James.
James is gonna take this kill easy peasy lemon squeezy, and will be able to get out with one. Oh, will he though? Will he though? I don't think so, says SDZYZ. Picks it up, and that's 5-2 on the kill score, and more action on the map is just more fun for us.
Okay, big pickups here.
Yep, and so far, both teams know exactly what they're doing, and they're playing on different wavelengths. NXPE, despite the back and forth being down 4 kills, they were playing the map. Oddly enough, a damage-based lineup is playing the map, and that's what Mycophobia has been buying. The fact that we aren't seeing many kills on this Natalia, a roaming assassin, he's checking the right bushes. For the long term, he's playing the long con here, but for Nexplay Evos, on the other end, you're looking at TNC, who is playing the major objectives. So now both teams are playing contradictory to what their lineup may look like, and there's the first hurdle for TNC. So again, you're looking at TNC, textbook, where is it? Still Donut goes down.
And out of nowhere, that's just a kill that has happened again because of the hard guard. Because of the presence of the Angela, it's so easy for Cram to get near their targets, and it's so easy for him to actually just get those kills. And James also, again, slowed down once more by the Baksha, and then ganged up by the rest of TNC. He's got taken out without breaking a sweat.
This is what I'm saying, man. Actually, Leo is the one that said this. This is the speed of rotations here, and now they're focusing on the mid.
They're back on mid. Right there and then, Mycophobia will be able to make it out live. And then you mentioned it, how fast SD went from bottom to mid and making a very tremendous amount of impact on the map.
This is what I like, right? Both teams have a mid, pretty much the global threat, right? You have that Heart Guard or you have the Dawning Light. But look at Escalera, right? Even running this Impure Rage on this Angela, and the fact that you can provide the Heart Guard. Yeah, exactly, right? And at the same time, you are able to slow members down for Nexplay Evos. They're struggling with that. Donut, like we've seen, even with the flicker, without the flicker, he has a hard time if he's stuck alone. So again, they really need to focus on keeping Donut alive here, because when it comes down to it, both gold laners, but now H2O going to be the focus here in the bot.
Almost got that proc. If that right proc got hit, man, that would have been trouble. Right now, trouble is happening up on top side, but Escalera will be able to make it in time to save Cram. Could have been a big dive there from nxpevos. Again, stifled by the Angela.
Loving how TNC is actually playing the Angela here. You're going to see that it is rocking an impure rage. So it's pure magic damage Angela, but there you just saw how it can be used to actually extend a hero's life. So not only are they using it offensively, but also defensively.
Yeah.
So you're expecting now TNT to be playing off kilter, and it's that switch up, it's that clutch. They've changed gears, they switched gears, and it's put NXPE now down about 1,000 gold, which is interesting to see, given how it's 8-2, 6 kills down, Mycophobia 0-1-1. Donut actually is down about 1,500 gold, 2,000. So the struggles are coming from odd angles. That's TNC's strength right now. So NXP, what they gotta do is avoid things like this.
And they are gonna go in and fight. H2O can't even react anymore. The rest of the backline are not able to hit their marks just because of how overwhelming TNC is becoming here in this mid-game. We're approaching 10 minutes on the game, and they are going for the fight around the Lord area. Donut, beautiful spray onto the Beerus Passion. James follows suit on the SD, and Donut takes care of Ben Finks. That is an almost wipeout there for NXPE, fighting off and taking a Lord as the spoils of war.
It's a rope-a-dope, back and forth, back and forth. The past 10 minutes have been more action-packed than possibly a single series in all of MPL Philippines Season 10. What exactly happened is NXPE, they understood they were rubber banding. They were rubber banding, and now this has propelled Donut 1,000 gold ahead. Earlier he was down, now Yasuo was the one struggling, given the fact that Yasuo had to build those steel leg plates, and all this time Donut was just building all damage, and they are now leveraging their main strength. It's so difficult to be TNC this time around, given that you were expecting to be using your defense as your main offense, and now the shoe's on the other foot.
Yeah, like I said, you got to be careful, Ron, especially with James on this Dairoth. And now they're going to be looking for a setup here on H2O.
H2O might be in trouble. Nuno blast in the face. He is the main tank. He has no problem taking that damage. TNC hesitate there for a bit to go for the fight. And because of that, NXPE are starting to go full throttle on this siege.
This is a huge moment, right, for just Nexplay Evos in general, opening up the map for themselves, grabbing a bunch of turrets. And like I said, you focus on your gold lane here. Donut able to capitalize on, wow, already the damage showing here, right? So even with just those 2 items now into the base.
Showing up very much from the prowess with the Renner shots. Donut just slow down Yasuo so much, making it so hard for TNC to actually defend from behind the turret. And Crab is also experiencing that right now. Look at Donut go at it. And James on the bottom side make sure those minion waves are in favor of the red side. And now it's going to be Crab diving in with a falling star mode. He's going to be very low and taken out by Miko. Yasuo fights back on the Miko. It's a good answer. And H2O going to be stopped, but not really. They're going to switch on over to mid lane, and they want to finish this right now.
Basically, it's Captain America versus Iron Man. On paper, as long as Iron Man can blast you, that shield's not going to do anything, and that's what this is. They've overloaded TNC's game plan of that persistent DPS and rotational speed. They have found their window, and now they're not letting go. They're down 4K. TNC are struggling to keep their heads above water.
Yeah, at this point, Donut is like the sleeping sniper. He slept for the whole game, and then right now, when your team needs it, he just woke up and tore everyone a new one.
And that explains the 29K that he's dealing. James, that's just how Abysm Strike works. As long as he sees that your life is very low, he can finish the job, and he is doing so well. Man, it's true what they say. The whispers down the grapevine. James is back.
James is back indeed. And, you know, that's the thing, right? I pointed this out in the draft for TNC. You know, you have this Angela running in the mid lane for you. And yes, Escalera has had a great game, sitting at 3-0-4, rocking that Impure Rage once again. But still, you know, your opportunities, if you compare it to this later portion of the game on Yelly Hayes with that Xavier, it's a lot harder to have those team fights go in your favor, because we see right now the struggle of Wanwan trying to really get those weak points off, trying to proc that crossbow of Tang, and that's what we're seeing in terms of team fight, right? They're looking for the setups here and now popping out Conceal to see if they can get out Mycophobia.
Oh man, that's gonna be trouble here. Mycophobia, I think, might have panicked a little too much.
The Lord.
But the Lord will be the prize here for NXPE for that scouting and the information being given by Miko.
Your sacrifice is well appreciated. What NXP is doing there, specifically Mycophobia, is he's just playing ward. He knew exactly where he wanted to be, where he needed to be, to check in and stop TNC from playing their game plan. TNC's game plan is play the map. NXP, they're shrinking the map. They're making sure that the 4 that were away from Mycophobia could melt out whatever TNC had. So even if there is shields and persistence, there is DPS, there is all of the sustainability, NXP's gonna shred right through it. That's what bought them the 5K gold lead here, and this Luminous Lord marching down mid.
And it looked like it was planned because Miko's back on the map at the same time the Lord got out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, calculated basically right at this point. So TNC fully on defense here. Base completely going to be exposed. They've got, I mean, they just have to find the positioning, really. They know that they're going to be assaulted here by Nexplay Evos just shortly as they try to work on this Lord. It's going to be up to them. Yasuo already taking a huge hit. Make it 2. Has to heal up, but here we go. Nexplay Evos going to siege into the base.
You got so many projectiles to worry about. What can they do? Abyssum Strike will be missing, and Lord will be taken out. Fight will be started here by the Numinal Blast. Kram is in the middle. He has Huggin Miko, but he can't find him. James in trouble. Wen is flying. Yasuo switching over to Yelly Haze. Could be bad, but Yasuo might be in a bad position as well. Oh my god, that was procced already. That was so close there for Yasuo. The base! The base is the problem! Yeah, oh my god! And that's gonna be the way that NXPE cleans it up just by